Hi friends, host Eric here, host of Talking with Fast People, and I plan in a little while to make a video, another platform video, which is about wealth and the economy. And I thought this would be a good way to segue into it via cognitive functions. I plan to make a series of these videos, one for each function, and it's called The Sex Implicit Valuings of Womanhood. Uh, Basically, it breaks down the idea that there's evolutionarily a set of valuings that are going to be prioritized by different women in different ways that are based on how men relate to women in a reproductive capacity. So, one thing that is evolutionarily true, and is demonstrated by the nature of engagement with dating sites online, is that women have no shortage of men who want to have sex with them, and men do have a shortage of women who want to have sex with them. So, the challenge then for men sometimes is to know exactly what these values are that women prioritize in a man. And well, speaking of women, here's a woman right now. Susie's here, and she's here just in time to enjoy this fine video about why women are the way they are, what they value, and stuff like that. So anyway, depending on the personality type of a woman, they're going to prioritize one of these mating values or more highly than others. The mating values are related to wealth in this video. Predictability of wealth, defense of self, you're the source of all ultimate wealth, requires you to be alive. Leverage over others, absolute wealth, preservability of wealth, relative wealth, potential wealth, correctness of direction. So I'll go over each of these one video per function. I'm going to do SI first. So SI displays by a man are seen by a woman in general as displays of predictability insofar as they relate to the reproductive process. So thus gains, displaying SI in the right way if you're a man will gain additional value in a woman's eyes than it has in women as a universal rule. Oh, in particular women. Women seek a man to predictably attend to provision, so that which suggests that a woman can know what to expect is biologically valued. You're going to use this if you're going to try to display this on the following types of women: ENTPs, INTPs, ENFPs, INFPs. They're going to be very responsive to it. You don't want to use it on ESFJs, ISFJs, ISTJs, ESTJs. You probably want to use a little bit of it on ISFPs, ESFPs, ESTPs, ISTPs, and you probably want to generally avoid it on ENTJs, INTJs, INFJs, ENFJs, as it's either a waste of time or triggers their insecurity function. So, how to use it? Display SI by speaking or displaying habitual behaviors. Speaking of or displaying habitual behaviors. Attempt to posture and exhibit awareness of one's physical state of being. Convey positives such as, I feel comfortable and healthy. I've been consistent about getting enough rest, and it's really paid off. That's a sort of sentence that triggers a woman's experience, the right kind of woman, as this guy's reliable, this guy is predictable, he's not going to throw a bunch of surprises at me. He knows how to proceed through his life in a way that is consistent day in and day out. Don't display this if you are an ENTP, INTP, ENFP, or INFP man, as you don't want a woman who responds to this. You seek a woman who to either provide this by nature or express her nature or use it to express her nature instead. So that's even if they are responsive to this, you don't want to use it because you don't want that woman. Now I'm assuming you're not just trying to bed them and shred them, but if you are, I'd prefer you not utilize this for that purpose. But anyway, I think people should try to find their dual and to be with them. And I believe humans are intended to be monogamous insofar as the optimal expression of self requires another party to provide some things, and it requires you to personally willfully optimize in some areas. It requires time to pass to allow you to naturally develop in some areas. It requires experiences that are consistent with your strong conscious block, your easy block, and it requires you to develop some mastery, primarily through the acquisition of the dual. You work together to attain mastery in the weak conscious block. So that's why I believe in monogamous relationships. Okay, so to explain the exceptions here is to when to use SI. Women with SI in the strong conscious block prioritize a conflicting value. SI DOMs prioritize in men the NE value of ideational novelty, creative attainment of relative certainty or authenticity, which basically means potential wealth. These represent two alternating phases of the same process, and thus prioritization by women of SI value expression in men is exclusive of prioritization of that which they seek. So if you're seeking NE, you're not going to be swayed by displays of SI. They'll resonate with you as familiar, but they won't interest you at all if you're a woman who's an SI dom. Prioritization of that which they seek, namely the of the process. SI tool users prioritize in men either the relative certainty of TI or the absolute experiential certainty of the emotional self from FI. These runs exclusive because of the epistemological judging distinction. SI knows while TI, FI evaluate that which is still undisputed or unresolved. So in any of those instances, when you've got SI in the ego block, so to speak, you're not going to want to display this particular value to a woman because it's not going to be the reproductive value she prioritizes. Okay, the reason I put plus G and R, that means it's generally considered, I'd say, a positive gender norm, positively consistent with gender norms, that a man be predictable, display some SI awareness in general. It's more, well, in general, I'd say masculinity and sensor stuff correlate pretty well. So this is the video on the first one, predictability of wealth and how to display it to a woman to maximize her response to you as a reproductive potentiality. So it also explains here, as you just heard, which types of women to use it on, which types of women not to use it on. That's the ESFJ. Which types of women, it might be a good idea because it correlates positively with gender norms, so that's generally going to resonate well with women. ISFP, ESP, and then the neutral, maybe not. And you heard me say it already. Why am I repeating myself? Anyway, that's the video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to eat plenty of cheese. And later on, I will be putting up a platform video explaining economics, wealth, at least part one of that. Thanks for watching.